What was it like getting back with everybody on set? Was it like a old home week?
That was, I think, getting back to seeing everyone was the most exciting part of doing the sequel. I wasn't looking forward to, you know, the 5 hours of green makeup, but it's so funny, I never really did look forward to it, but as soon as I was on set, I was happy. I would forget that I had been there since 2:30 in the morning, and I was just eager to get back and just, you know, I always felt like I was playing with my friends, you know?
How is Gamora fitting in with the other Guardians in this one?
She's still the one that is rigid and takes herself a little too seriously, but I think it's because she still has all this baggage that she has to deal with. You know, when you see them in the second installment, it's only been 3 or 4 months since the first movie. You know, that's kind of like the time frame that James Gunn wrote for us. So even though they're feeling much more familiar with each other, they're still getting to know each other and acclimate to this new life together as a family. So Gamora is definitely, I would like to say that she's like the big sister role, and Dave Bautista was like, you know what, you're the mother. You need to just own it, and that's who Gamora is. She's sort of like the mother of the pack. I'm always correcting them, keeping them focused, letting them see how much of idiots they really are sometimes when they argue about things that are so arbitrary, and I'm always trying to sort of like, let's finish the task at hand, focus. So it's always yeah, it's kind of motherly, I guess.
Baby Groot is quite the steed sealer. How does Gamora treat Baby Groot?
He has her heart. I honestly do feel that he does, because he's such an innocent creature. But he's also young, and he doesn't listen, and he's rebellious and rambunctious. So Gamora, you know, along with Quill, that's like we're always like after him and making sure that he's okay.
Is there something happening between Peter Quill and Gamora?
I don't know. I think they like each other. I think that there's an attraction that is inevitable and they can't deny. I think it's more difficult for Gamora to accept it. But what I find most beautiful about their relationship is their friendship. I think that Peter knows a lot about what Gamora has been through, and Gamora has a great deal of empathy for Peter. They're both orphans, so there's just this kind of connection that they have. But then, you know, he behaves like a douchebag, and it's really hard for Gamora. I think like she's turned off by Peter just as much as she may be turned on, you know? And so she goes with that.
So talk about working with Chris Pratt and what that was like.
It's wonderful. It's just, it's very difficult to have a bad day, to have a bad moment. To have a bad attitude around someone like Chris Pratt. He's so positive. He's so grateful to be where he is. He always keeps us together. I don't know. He's a great leader of a pack, and I think that what makes it most special is because he doesn't act like the leader, and yet he leads us quite beautifully. And I've never felt so much at ease following someone, you know, like just following their lead and seeing how they've blossomed, you know, into this like mega star who still remains the most humble, most grounded, the funniest guy, you know, most approachable human being. So we always talk about this, like Dave and myself and Sean, how lucky we feel that we're working with someone like Chris. It's really great.
What can audiences expect from the relationship between Gamora and her sister Nebula?
There's friction, but I think that they fight like any other sisters do. I think the difference is that they are from different planets and they have cybernetically enhanced abilities. So instead of, you know, the name calling and you're such a and I'm not talking to you and get out of my room, it's more like, oh, look at this gun that this spaceship has just dropped. Let me just pick it up. Let me shoot at my sister because she's really annoying right now. Like those are the kind of fights that they have. But it's really about the same things that normal sisters would fight about.
Talk about the practical sets and what that brings to your performance as an actor.
Practical sets? There's nothing practical. It's difficult, it's challenging, and that's what makes it super fun. You have to wire up. You have to, take these giant leaps and trust not just your director, but trust your crew, and put your life in their hands. And it ends up being, sometimes experiences that I would have never dreamed of living, and I learn. I discover something new about myself. So I guess shooting these kinds of movies are very practical, but they're not easy. They're practical because everything is broken down in phases and in departments, and you have to really pay close attention to everything that they're telling you, because your life and your safety depends on it. And when you do that and you follow directions, you end up, seeing a beautiful result, and you're a part of it. Like, sometimes you're in the epicenter of it, and I feel like that's why I love shooting action movies.
What did you like about having the music play as you acted?
It helps so much. It really does. There's so much that you have to imagine when you work with when you're in a part of a film like this. This is such a technical movie, and you're shooting green screen, and you're imagining constantly things that aren't really there. So when your director's able to give you something that you can work with, that you don't have to reinvent and invent and create yourself, it ends up helping you tremendously and inspiring you. So music is a vehicle that drives me, and it drives many of us in this cast, and it helps us. Thank God for it.
What can audiences expect from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2?
Just full-blown entertainment. From badass action sequences to heartfelt moments between characters that may not look like you, but are afflicted by issues that are quite similar to issues that maybe you're battling yourself, and they're just trying to make it work as a family. So entertainment, and a film that is this film is entertaining.
If you had to sum up your experience making this film in one word, what would it be and why?
If I had to sum up my experience making this film and describing it?
One word, yeah.
One word. Magnificent.